Hi, today I'll give you a walkthrough of Vocalance for dictation. The main selling point of Vocalance is that you can start dictating and writing pretty much anywhere that your cursor can sit. We can start dictating with green. He said we need to raise a ticket to make sure front-end can pass us the right data before we start building the MVP. Amber. Dictation is now stopped, and if we're happy with the message, we can send it. Now, let's say you want to include some technical jargon or emails or links or anything that's hard to transcribe into your final text. You can make your way to the Vocalance UI and go to the dictation section. Then we go to the aliases tab, and in here on the left panel, we can specify some activation word or phrase. When we say insert and the activation word or phrase during dictation, the system will swap out that word for the substitution text that you enter here. For example, let's create an activation word called swap, just to make it very obvious. And let's add the brand name of the company that's handling our ticketing system. Let's say it's called Front Serve. If I click on alias, that'll appear on the right. And here, if I ever want to change these aliases, I just have to click on edit and I could change the substitution text. I can also delete it if I don't like it anymore. If we go back to our response scenario, I can now say green. He said we need to raise a insert swap ticket to make sure front end can pass us the right data before we start building the MVP. Amber. And as you can see, we've swapped out the word swap for the word front served. Now, there's two types of simple dictation, and you can activate them with different activation words. We've just seen the most basic dictation type, which you can activate with the keyword green. To tell you more about this, green, I'll give you a practical demonstration of how it actually works. We've seen before how I can just translate what I say onto text, but what we didn't see is that it'll do so incrementally. If you pause for more than 2 seconds, the text will start to appear at your cursor location. This makes it quite good if you want to do live editing on the text that you're transcribing. For instance, I can just pause for 2 seconds and check how well it actually transcribed things. Then if I didn't like anything, I could just jump around with the cursor and edit it, or I can go right back and just wait a few seconds for it to catch up and then paste what I said. You can also move the cursor around and keep dictating without interrupting the session if you want to insert some new phrase right in the middle of your text. Amber. The downside of this approach is that you have to remain within your text box and with your cursor in your text box. Otherwise, it won't paste anything. If you want to move around tabs or windows while still dictating, then you have to use the hidden green mode, and this will activate the same kind of UI in the bottom left to show you that it's listening. The difference here is I can do whatever I want. So now I'm moving the mouse freely. I can switch between tabs. I can also pause for 2 seconds and nothing will happen. Nothing will be pasted on screen. It will just keep everything that I say in memory. And then once I'm ready to paste everything that I've said, because I'm happy with what I have, only then do I have to go to a text box, put my cursor there, and say the stop word. Amber. And you can see that it caught everything that I said since starting the hidden mode. For a dictation mode that will give you more visual feedback as you dictate, you can use visual green, which will open a UI but displays the text transcriptions as you speak them. The idea is you can still move around, although there will be a permanent UI that you can't move and will cover part of the screen, but I could click on other parts and then come back. And everything will just be stored here for you to check. Once you're happy that everything that you wanted to say has been reported in the visual UI, you can see the stop word, which is Amber, and that will paste all the outputs of the transcription at the cursor location. So just like the previous mode, you have to make sure to come back to a text box eventually when you say the stop word. Now, one last thing I want to show you is AI-enabled dictation, and this will take the outputs of your dictation and then apply some sort of processing to them. You can control what the processing that gets applied actually is by making your way back to the UI and then going to the Prompts tab. Here on the left panel, you can specify any prompt for the AI model that you would like, meaning this is the thing that the AI model will apply to your dictation text. As an example, let's say we work in a technical discipline and we want to write a quick message to a non-technical audience about what we found. I can create a simplify prompt, and the prompt title here doesn't matter. It's just for you to manage the prompts later on. And then the prompt instructions, which is what actually gets fed to the AI model, will say something along the lines of what I'm about to paste now. And this is basically saying, rewrite the following text for a non-technical audience. Any technical term or concept should be explained clearly, yada, yada. So basically just simplify the text and explain the technical jargon. Once you're happy with this, you can click Add Prompt, which will actually add the prompt to the system, and you can manage it from the right panel. You'll notice there's a radio button that selects the prompts. By default, the AI model will use the default prompt that Vocalance ships with, which is just a simple text cleaning prompt. If you want to use one of your custom prompts, you have to actually select it. And now, so long as this is selected, the AI model will be using your custom prompt. So how do we actually use it? You can enter the AI dictation mode by saying Smart Green. In a trial of 1,200 patients, the new drug reduced the risk of heart attack with a log odds ratio of -0.35 and a standard error of 0.1 compared to placebo. The 95% confidence interval was -0.55 to -0.15. Amber? This will now start processing the dictation text that we passed it through an AI model, and it will apply the prompt that you created. The speed of the recognition will vary depending on how fast your machine is and how much RAM you have. And once it's ready, it will actually paste it at the cursor location once again, and you'll have this more sort of well-rounded explained text. Now, the quality of it will vary. And right now we're using a very small AI model, so it won't be perfect. But depending on the kind of prompt that you pass, it will be better or worse than it, and you can have a play and see how you feel with it. I hope you found that useful. If you want to try Vocalance out, check the link in the description or go to the website.